Imagine being ripped from your home and exhibited in a human zoo halfway around the world. This is the chilling tale of Ota Benga, a Congolese man who was a victim of one of the darkest chapters in American history. Born around 1883, Ota Benga was a member of the Mbuti people, a group of pygmies in the Congo. His life took a drastic turn when he was captured by Samuel Phillips Werner, an American businessman and missionary. Werner brought Benga to the United States in 1904, where he was exhibited at the St. Louis World's Fair. Here, he was put on display in a human zoo, a horrific spectacle where indigenous people were showcased for the curiosity and entertainment of fair-goers. This degrading practice, rooted in a misguided belief of racial superiority, was the first step in Benga's disturbing journey in a foreign land. But the spectacle of Ota Benga didn't end at the St. Louis World's Fair. It was only the beginning of a disturbing journey. In 1906, Ota Benga was taken to the Bronx Zoo in New York City. What happened next shook the nation. In a disturbing display of the era's misguided beliefs, Benga was placed in an exhibition at the Bronx Zoo. This was not your usual wildlife spectacle though. Benga was positioned in the monkey house, sharing his living quarters with an orangutan. The unsettling picture this created was not accidental. It was a calculated move designed to underline the pseudo-scientific theories of the time that sought to draw evolutionary links between humans and primates. But the exhibition didn't just aim to make a scientific point, it was also a grossly degrading spectacle. The underlying implication was clear. Ota Benga, and by extension his entire race, was being painted as a lower form of human life. The message was as shocking as it was fallacious. It was a gross misrepresentation of a man who had already been plucked from his homeland and thrust into an alien world. This appalling exhibition did not go unnoticed. It sparked a wave of public outrage. The voices that rose loudest against this affront to human dignity were those of African American clergymen and intellectuals. They condemned the display as a blatant act of racism and a degrading spectacle. Their protests echoed across the nation, casting a harsh light on the inhumane treatment of Benga. This public outcry against the exhibition was so significant that it could not be ignored. The Bronx Zoo, under immense pressure, had no choice but to respond. Benga was eventually released from the zoo, marking the end of his degrading stint as a human exhibit. However, this was not a moment of triumph or liberation for Benga. Instead, it marked the beginning of another chapter of struggle in his life. He was free from the zoo, but not from the prejudices and hardships that lay ahead. The outcry was so significant that Benga was eventually released from the zoo, yet his struggles were far from over. Freed from the zoo, Ota Benga attempted to adjust to life in America, but the scars of his past haunted him. After his release, Benga found himself in a world far removed from his native Congo. He worked odd jobs, trying to carve out a life in a society that had once exhibited him as a curiosity. His days were filled with struggle. The struggle to understand, to fit in, and to forget. Benga's heart, however, yearned for his homeland. He dreamt of returning to the Congo, but the outbreak of World War I in 1914 put a halt to all transatlantic travel. Ota Benga was trapped in a land that was not his own, a prisoner once more. In the end, the weight of his past and the despair of his present proved too much. In 1916, under the crushing burden of his experiences, Ota Benga tragically ended his own life. At the age of 32, Ota Benga took his own life, a tragic end to a life marked by exploitation and dehumanization. Ota Benga's story is a stark reminder of a disturbing period in history, a time when racism and dehumanization were displayed under the guise of science and entertainment. This Congolese man, ripped from his homeland and displayed as an object of curiosity, became a symbol of the deep and pervasive racism that marked the early 20th century. His life, tragic and brief, holds profound historical significance. It illustrates the dangerous intersection between pseudoscience and bigotry, where human dignity was sacrificed for the sake of unfounded theories. Yet it also highlights the power of protest as African American clergymen and intellectuals rallied against Benga's degrading treatment, embodying the ongoing struggle for social progress and justice. The legacy of Ota Benga is a lens through which we can examine our past, our failures, and our capacity for cruelty. But it also illuminates our potential for empathy, for change, and for recognizing the inherent value of every human life. Ota Benga's story compels us to reflect on our past and strive for a more equitable and just society. His life, though fraught with suffering, serves as a beacon for social progress and justice.